Over the past couple of days, I was down under. And today, as I'm feeling a lot more better, I literally, I'm realizing that health is really wealth. And I'm also very thankful that I am accepting that rest is a part of the work. I wanted to film my videos from like 2 days ago. I'm still on schedule with my uploads and everything, but I wanted to film these videos that I'm recording today. Whenever you see them, I wanted to film it like a couple days before, just so that I'm not rushing when it's time to upload, and just so that I'm at a pace that feels comfortable and that feels steady and that's flowing and that's at ease, But that didn't happen because I was just under the weather for a couple of days. And I just had to just let it be. I just had to just let it go, the punches, because as I'm realizing, rest is a part of the work. I've shared this story many times. If you're not new here, you're probably tired of hearing me say it, but I'm going to share it again for those who are new to the channel and are just watching my videos. But I used to glorify exhaustion because that's all I saw growing up. I always saw my dad, who has been an entrepreneur for the past 30 plus years, getting up 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock sometimes, or even 2 a.m. sometimes, going out to work in his business and coming back home really late. He's up till 11, 12 sometimes, so barely getting any sleep. And I thought that is how you get to the level of success that you desire. You just always have to be on, you just always have to be working, and you just cannot be down chilling. You just have to be doing something. And so I thought that is the way. Went through college, did the whole exhaustion thing, and during COVID time when we were not able to work, that's when I actually had my first time where I was just not doing anything, and I didn't know how to handle it, because in my mind, sitting down and not doing anything is lazy. And if you are really a hardworking person, as I saw hard work being shown in the work part and not in the rest part, I just thought it was crazy. Like, what is everybody doing? And so even when I had supervisory roles and so forth, I was probably a pain in the butt to my peers, because I like to work and then rest, and I would see these kids just sitting around sometimes. They work, they sit, they work, they sit. And it used to bother me so much, because I'm thinking, how are you guys going to get the work done if you're constantly just sitting down every minute? But that was just my first introduction to incorporating rest into your work, because you cannot be as productive as you think you're going to be if you are just going like a machine. Like, I'm literally feeling on my phone, the battery gets done, I have to recharge it, and that is essentially what rest does to our body. As I was saying, during COVID time is when I actually had my first moment of sitting down. We couldn't go anywhere, as everybody know, and so that was just really hard for me to deal with. And I felt like I fell into a depressive period of my life, because I was just home, I had nothing to do, and I didn't like it. And I didn't like it because I didn't know what to do with it. And that is really what it boils down to. But when they say, when you know better, you do better, and I know better now. So how rest changed my ability to think, because I really think it did. I believe that after I left that period of COVID and we went back to work, I just started to show up differently. And this is something that I've traveled with me throughout the years. COVID passed like 5 years ago or 6 years ago. It's still something that I'm incorporating into my space. I've failed at it, I've gotten back up, I failed at it, I've gotten back up, and I'm still on this horse, because I really see how when I got time away to really just rest and to just allow the lows to be the lows, when I get back up I feel a lot better. Like today, I'm not 100% where my body normally is, but I feel so much better than I did feel a couple days ago. And I can see the difference in just how I showed up. Like, I was going to push through and still film my videos, but I know I was going to see the version of me that I was feeling on camera, and so I just didn't want to go through that and be a hypocrite. Like, I'm saying resting is important, but yet still I'm pushing through my period of feeling down, and not down emotionally, but down physically, just to make the videos. And so it really does changes your ability to think. And I actually had an experience with this a couple weeks ago. I was talking about a project that I had to complete, and I got the project later in the day over a weekend, a residence weekend that I had. And I was staring at my computer the entire evening because I didn't know what to do. Not because I didn't know what to do, but because it was really late in the day. My brain already tapped out. I was overloaded. It was just not a great time. And so when I went home, I got some rest. And the next day, when I went back to the next day of the residency, I was able to knock out all of the project in a couple hours and got some additional work done in a shorter period of time than I had the day before, right? And that just really shows the power of resting and how it changes your ability to think, how it helps you to function better. It helps you to be more creative, to come up with new ideas, and to really think through things that you just couldn't even think through when you're completely exhausted. No, this is not popular because we are in a hustle culture. Everybody is hustling. And if you're not about that hustle life, that means you're lazy. That means you're not going to become a millionaire. That means you're not going to get to the bread. That means you are just not going to get to that ultimate life. And it's very tempting because nobody wants to feel, no high achieving person wants to feel like they're lazy. They don't want to feel like they're behind. They don't want to feel like they're missing out on being seen a certain way in society. And so everybody is that is unaware is constantly going after it just to be seen a certain way. And that leads me to talk about productivity versus capacity. So everybody have their own routine. You look on the internet, you see people talking about a day in their life, what they do, time they start their days, and what is going to get you to that ultimate success if you do this, etc. Right? And a lot of people try to follow those routines because they think it's the productive thing to do. And it may be the productive thing to do, but I always like to think of productivity as the way that fits you, productivity for you. Everything I talk about is productivity for you, it's capacity for you. Productivity for you does not have to start the same time as everybody else. I was literally thinking through how I operate. I know that in my mornings, my brain works better. It's a lot more fresh. I can get certain things that I need to think through done in the early morning. At nights, it's not the best time for me to be thinking through things. And so it's also a thing that I noticed, that I'm a lot more social in the evenings and not that social in the mornings. But I would be seen as a morning person or night person. I think I'm a combination of different type of person based on the thing that needs to be produced. If it's event that I need to go to, I will be the best if I go there in the evening. If it's something that I need to write, I will be the best at if I write it in the mornings. And so our understanding how I operate is going to detail how my productivity shows up. So if I try to copy somebody else's routine of productivity that does not fit how I show up, I'm not going to be productive. And I think that is the part of these productivity acts that we're missing. Everybody's sharing what makes them productive. Everybody's sharing what makes them work, what makes them tick. But you have to understand that what they're sharing can be helpful to you, but you have to identify what makes you tick and what brings out the ultimate productivity in you. This next one is capacity, right? Because everybody's capacity is not at the same level. And this is why, as I said earlier, everything that somebody says, we have to take it with a grain of salt. My capacity is not yours and yours is not mine. There are things that I can take on, that I can hold, and they're just things that you just can't take on and you can't hold, and vice versa. It doesn't mean that I am weak. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It just means that we have different capacity for different things. I have literally just gone through a very extended season of exhaustion, and I literally had the capacity to go further, but I have gone through episodes of this before, and because I've learned that rest is a part of the work, I just did not push myself to the capacity of breakdown, because that is not a point where I want to go, and also the recovery time takes a lot longer. So understanding your capacity and understanding that even if you can take something on, even if you can go through something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go through it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take it on. You just have to work with the capacity level that you have and allow that to guide you. Right, so why recovery can feel uncomfortable? Recovery feels uncomfortable because recovery is resting. And if you are an high achieving person, if you're a person that is always on the go, you're hardworking, you don't understand rest. You are off the thesis that you will rest when you die, as I have heard being the motto of the NABA chapter, which is a accounting chapter that I was a part of, and many other. I think this is just the American philosophy. You rest when you die, for corporate America philosophy. So recovery can feel uncomfortable when you have that ideology because you don't know what to do with it. I've been around a lot of people who are similar to how I function, which is always finding something to do, and I myself have to be the one explaining, like, resting does not mean you have to be sleeping. Sleeping is a form of rest. And I've seen, I don't know if you've seen her, but there's a channel, Erica Prevail, where she talks about the 7 types of rest. I don't think it's her concept, but she speaks about this a lot on her channel. And it's understanding that rest is not just sleeping. Sleeping is a form of rest. And you don't have to just be sleeping. You can literally be sitting down still. You can literally be taking a creative rest, which is doing different hobbies, something that's for you, not something that you have to show on the internet, and different type of things. But we oftentimes fill our rest time with things because after a certain period of resting, we don't really know what to do with it anymore. So we try to find things to fill our rest time, and it then becomes work. And that is an uncomfortable phase that we have to sit in, because as I talked about earlier when I said that rest changes your ability to think, if you're constantly on, if you're always on, you're not giving your body the time to recover. Emphasize recovery when it comes to working out. We have to get our muscles to rest so that they can produce better. All the athletes in the world, everybody that competes on a national level, they have rest time, they have work time. Recovery is a part of the work. It's not a luxury, it's not an option, it's a part of the process of becoming your true self. Now, as we're talking about building a life that's truly mine, that's truly yours, we have to think about building a life where rest is normal. It's not a luxury to have a time off to yourself, to do absolutely nothing if you don't want to do anything. We just really have got drifted away so much from our natural form of being. You know, I literally was thinking about this last night, where I thought about the fact that we should not be working, we should not be living to work, we should be working to live. Wait, did I say that right? We should not be living to work, we should be working to live. Because when you are doing work, yes, I got it right. When you are doing work that lights you up, that makes you excited to show up, that you feel is contributing to the greater part of society, it lights you up, it energizes you, it makes you feel so much alive. Like, honestly, when I was not feeling good for a couple of days, I'm glad that I was able to rest, but I also felt like I want to get back up to literally make these videos, because I feel I've had my time to rest, and this is something that I enjoy doing. It's for me, there's no pressure on it. There is just me sitting down and sharing what I've learned and I'm learning with you all, and that is exciting to me. And not every aspect of my work experiences have felt like this, so I've actually had to cultivate something for myself that feels like this. And even in my times when I've been away from YouTube, honestly, I've wanted to come back. It's just different reasons have kept me away, and I knew, as I've shared along my 100-day daily postings, that I want to come back on my own terms, because I want it to be something that feels normal, that goes into a flow for me, and not something where I'm performing for anybody else, just to get somebody's attention for my videos. And so as I've thought about having a life that feels like mine, rest is a natural part of it. It's not an option, it's not a luxury, it's not a nice to have, it's not something that I'm going to do as an afterthought. It's something where I get to feel like I have the authority to just rest. Work when it's time to work, play when it's time to play, and rest when it's time to rest, because all of those things are important. All of those things are important for the to the work that you are created to produce. You know, we always hear, I don't know if this is a national thing, and probably every country has their version of it, but we've always said that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy in Jamaica. And along with play, I want to add rest. All work and no play nor rest makes Jack a dull boy. So we are going to be working really hard on the things that we want to achieve for ourselves, and we're going to be resting so that we can think better, and we're going to be playing so that we can develop our creativity a lot more, because we feel like we are encompassing every aspect of our beings. All right, so if this video was informative to you, please give me a like and share this with anybody who it could benefit. And I want you to tell me in the comments, is resting feeling like normal to you, or does it feel like a chore? I'd love to know below. And subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. Follow me on all social media platforms at Khrista-Lee. That's Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And I'll see you in my next video. Let's go make some mistakes. Bye.